Where is Canon's high-resolution, high-megapixel camera? We keep hearing about it every year, and every year it fails to happen, and 2023 is no exception. So stick around after this short message for the latest on Canon's mythical 100-megapixel high-resolution camera. But first, subscribe to this channel for a chance to win a Canon EOS R5. I'll be giving one away to one lucky subscriber once this channel reaches 100,000 subscribers. Anyone above the age of 18 with a valid mailing address is eligible. Additional terms and conditions are linked in the description down below. Canon released the 5D SR in June of 2015. My son was just 1 year old, and it was an exciting time for me, but also the camera world, because the 5D SR had a 50.6 megapixel sensor, the highest resolution Canon camera then, and the highest resolution Canon camera today. And then in late 2019, the market was focused on a refresh of the 5D Mark IV. It was supposed to be coming out in the spring with a high megapixel refresh of the 5D SR, giving us close to 100 megapixels. But then the world changed, and it changed abruptly and suddenly. Supply chains were disrupted, and the 5D Mark V was cancelled along with the 7D Mark III. But these two cameras were largely forgotten with the release of Canon's mirrorless camera, the first full-frame mirrorless camera on Canon's lineup, the Canon EOS R5. Canon's mirrorless successors to the 5D Mark IV, giving us an unheardable 8K video, 4K up to 120 frames per second, 20 frames per second continuous shooting, and a 45 megapixel sensor. Almost the same resolution as the 5D SR, leaving many of us to wonder, is that it for the high megapixel camera? Is the Canon EOS R5 the spiritual successor to the 5D SR? But we kept getting those forecasts of a 100 plus megapixel camera coming from Canon just later on in the year. Yep, and every year after then, in 2021, early 2021, we started getting reports that a 100 plus megapixel sensor camera based on the 5 series was supposed to be coming out later that year. Then in 2022, we got the same thing. And here we are in 2023, late 2023, and guess what we're hearing again? Well, more of the same. You see, Canon rumors today, this morning, said that we've heard a couple of mentions about, are you ready for this? A higher resolution camera coming just 6 months after the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. And we expect that camera to be announced in Q1 of 2024, which would translate to a 2024 announcement. Yeah, 2024 Q4 announcement, that's another year out, and that pushes us pretty much back into 2025. Although, yes, I know, maybe I'm getting a little bit jaded here, but to push that out another year, that's since 2019, carry the one. That's another 5-6 years before we're supposed to get this camera. 5-6 years of teasing that we're supposed to be getting a 100 plus megapixel camera, a mirrorless camera that is basically based off of the 5 series, the mirrorless version of the 5 series, not the 5D Mark IV. So is there really much of a demand for this camera when we've got medium format cameras by other companies such as Fujifilm? Well, Craig at Canon Rumors thinks so. He says that there would definitely be a market for a 100 megapixel type of EOS R camera. But how big that market could be is not something that we're privy to. Yeah, I just feel like smiling like an idiot here because, you know, at first I didn't want to put out this video because it's like that rumor that we have from Sony Alpha Rumors on the FX9 Mark II. It's coming from a source that doesn't always get things correct. So I kind of sat on that and decided not to put out a video. Instead, put out a video about the Sony a7S IV that's supposed to be coming that isn't coming. And I don't know. I was dwelling on this for a while and I thought, well, wait a minute. No, there is a demand for this because we do have medium format cameras that are selling very, very well from Fujifilm. And we just had a refresh of their 100 megapixel camera. So what about Canon? And a lot of you have asked this. Is Canon going to bring out a medium format camera? Well, we do have Canon on the record and they have told us that no. They are not going to be doing any sort of medium format camera. They're not touching it. They're leaving it alone. And that was 4 or 5 years ago, right when we started hearing rumors about a 100 megapixel full frame mirrorless camera. And there is a chance that we could be getting a medium format camera. We don't have anything in terms of patent filings. I've been scanning the patent filings. I was just looking at them last night. And I've seen absolutely nothing that talks about a medium format sensor. So you'd expect to see some sort of patent filing long before we'd actually get some sort of camera announcement. So that leaves us with APS-C and full frame cameras in Canon's lineup. So as far as getting a 100 plus megapixel censored camera, well, we do have an actual patent filing that talks about a sensor around 100 megapixels. So that's pretty clear that Canon has the technology, or at least the research and development, to produce that sort of technology. But in terms of if we're going to get something announced late in 2024, well, 12 months is an awful long time out. And as we keep hearing that, every time we hear about this supposed high-resolution version of the 5D SR, a mirrorless incarnation of it based on the 5 series, the current EOS R5, I have to say, well, you know what, it just sounds like we're kicking the can further down the road, and it doesn't sound all that credible to me. I think there's definitely a market for it, but I think that marketplace is going to be rather small. Now, if Canon comes out and releases the Canon EOS R5 with a resolution of around 40 to 45 or 50 megapixels, and the Canon EOS R1 with the same resolution, then I certainly think there's room for a 100 plus megapixel censored camera. But it's going to be a niche. It's not going to be a huge marketplace. The marketplace has changed an awful lot since June of 2015. In fact, I think the marketplace is down, well, more than half, and that's significant. So that means the number of people that would be buying this camera is probably a little bit less. Now, on the other side, if Canon happens to release the Canon EOS R5 or the R1 at 60 plus megapixels or 85 megapixels as some have forecast, well, then that would kind of make the need for a 100 plus megapixel censored camera, well, kind of not needed. And that would be Canon's way of telling us that don't expect one. But all those rumors saying 85 megapixels or 60 megapixels are not validated in any way whatsoever. And the ones that said 85 megapixels came out several years ago, and those are the funniest ones of all that haven't been validated by anything that's come out since. So it's not all that exciting, and I wish this was a little bit more exciting, but I do have something exciting coming up next Friday. I'm going to be doing a live stream from 7 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Yep, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to be going for 5 hours until lunchtime. And that's assuming, of course, the Canon EOS R5 can keep shooting for that time without overheating, because I will be broadcasting in 4K. That's right, 4K. And the whole point of this broadcast is to bring on various guests that are going to talk about what's in their camera bag. I'm going to talk about what's in my camera bag. We're going to have photographers, videographers, we're going to have landscape photographers, we're going to have portrait photographers, and we're going to talk about what's in our camera bag. And as they're talking about what's in their camera bag, I'm going to be sharing out a screen where I'm going to be looking at Amazon.com, B&H, and Adorama, showing you the best deals. And there are an awful lot of deals on right now. Take a look at this. The Canon EOS 5D SR DSLR, the one I was just talking about, you can actually go ahead and buy that right now for the small price, the low, low price of $1,228.95. We can see the Canon EOS R5 brand new in the box, not gray market, not used, for $33.99, $500 off. And we can see that the Canon EOS R5C is $37.99, also $500 off. There are so many incredible deals on right now. And that Canon EOS R3 is still $1,000 off. Lenses, camera bodies from all the major camera manufacturers are on sale. And if you're looking at buying new camera gear, camera bodies, lenses, accessories, SSDs for your photo and video editing, then please consider using my affiliate links down below for Adorama, B&H, and Amazon.com. I get a small commission back if you do purchase something, and it really does help support this channel. In fact, I've got a really big year planned for 2024. I'm looking at purchasing the 200 to 800 millimeter. I'm just waiting for that one to ship. I'm also looking at purchasing the 24 to 105 f2.8, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, and the Canon EOS R1. And I couldn't do it without your support. For all of you that have used my affiliate links for Adorama, B&H, or Amazon.com, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot to me. You're the reason why this channel is where it is today at around 46,000 subscribers in just 4 years. So thank you so much. But also, I'd like to do a shout out to Patrick at Downtown Camera in Toronto. He's a local camera store, a rather large camera store, not as big as B&H, but if you need something, he's got it. So give him a shout, mention my name, and don't be surprised if he shaves a little bit off the top. So really terrific support. He ships anywhere in Canada and of course in the United States, B&H and Adorama, but also don't forget to support your local camera stores because they need your love as well. The big chains do quite well, so if you do have a local camera store, reach out to them. You'd be surprised at how helpful they can be, and when it comes to being one of the first to get cameras, new cameras like the A9 III or the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, they're pretty helpful at putting you on that list. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon. Most likely, very, very soon.